Oh, what's up, everybody? What's up, my brothers and sisters? It's back. The show is back. Tandy time is back. We're here to chat. I don't really have that much planned, though, to be perfectly honest. But as Boston Bay says in the chat here, there's a WNBA Top Shot announcement imminent. So if you're into the WNBA Top Shot collecting and connecting for King Brett over here, that will be happening soon. It might even happen while we're chatting today. And it does seem, for the speculators and rent seekers out there, which many of you are, just complete bottom of the barrel, dirty, stinking rent seekers. WNBA packs seem to do pretty well with the rent seekers. And we see that, like, Caitlin Clark, the value of Caitlin Clark holds up pretty well. So there might be some very special Caitlin Clark moms to be had, right? So if you're into that, then look out for some news on NBA Top Shot coming real soon. And I've seen that some people have been complaining a bit that the NBA Top Shot socials have not been pumping out content. And, in this day and age, it's pretty easy to, like, do a little reply guying, a little shit posting. So I feel that feeling that some of you are feeling. Like, come on, guys, you could shit post every once in a while. You could just make a tweet. You could say that, hey, Kawhi Leonard is not going to be playing on Team USA. What do you think about this decision? Jaylen Brown is not been selected for Team USA, even though he has been the Finals MVP and NBA champion and highest paid player up until Jason Tatum got paid more than him. What's up with that? Throw your gifts in the replies, right? You could do that. Why not? Maybe you can't. I don't know. But on that note, Derek White is going to be replacing Kawhi Leonard. I am of the opinion that Derek White's an excellent player, and he happens to be a Top Shot ambassador. And we also saw that he said he needs to get his hands on his finals moment. Does anybody know if he ever bought that moment? I hope he did. That would be pretty cool. That's what we need to make more of a thing. UFC had that going on for a short while. And you got to strike while the iron is hot. If people are willing to showcase their NFTs with pride, then you go for that. And when that happened on the UFC product, that was super cool. And I want to see Derek White do that too. I want to see Derek White with a chain, with his moment on repeat. That's what I want to see. Ideally, I'd like to see every single player in the NBA with a chain, with their moment, their most scarce moment, on repeat at all times when they're playing, even while they're playing the game. Gold medallions clanging around, smacking people in the face, but their moments are playing on repeat, baby. That's what you want to see. Let's take a look at what I'm missing in the chat here. Banana is here. It's Tandy time, y'all. Banana, by the way, regular on the Collecting and Connecting podcast. Guest host, you could say. So congrats to Banana on stepping it up. Banana has been stepping it up in a big way. If you're not following Banana on Twitter, what are you doing? I mean, I'm sure most of you are. But Banana and Hefe and other people, Jake the Shake, and they are like single-handedly burning off excess supply on NBA Top Shot. And of course, we'll play this clip just for Alexo. And Chris is of the opinion that Jalen Brunson got snubbed more than anybody. I don't disagree with that either. Jalen Brunson should be playing. He did seem to injure his hand, though, sliding into the ring during a WWE appearance. What was that about? Can't get injured doing pro wrestling stuff. But I don't know about you guys. I remember back in the day when I'm an old man. Okay, I'm a lot older than some of you youngins in the chat. But back in my day, we had Karl Malone and I think it was Dennis Rodman. Was it Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman fighting in the WCW? Karl Malone was on the side of Diamond Dallas Page, and he gave somebody a diamond cutter. Those were the days. WCW. Any wrestling fans in the chat? Wrestling is kind of a guilty pleasure. I watched it as a youngster, very young. Then again, when I was like 12, when DX to Generation X, where everyone was saying "suck it" in in like middle school. You'd have these 12-year-old boys telling everybody to suck it, and I was definitely one of those boys. I also had a Stone Cold Steve Austin cutout in my room. My dad had some kind of connection that could get those big, like life-size cardboard cutouts. So I had a cardboard cutout of a bald man with a goatee, jacked, wearing a leather vest with a skull on it and a jeans and probably cowboy boots and like looking like he's walking towards you about to whoop some ass. And that was like in my bedroom. And I remember like the first days of having that cutout in my room, and I would wake up to like go to the bathroom, and it would scare the ever loving shit out of me. What was I thinking? Why is that a good idea? You know, sometimes you grow up and you think back, what was I thinking? I don't think I'd want my son to have a massive cutout of a roided out, scary looking dude walking towards him at all times in the corner of his room. That's a little scary. So Matt Roth is here. He says, we need to unify the base. This isn't religion or politics. We need to argue less and work together more, and Top Shot needs to rebalance their economy. And he says the plan was never for there to be more scarcity in later seasons. And Matt says he wants his son to have a cutout of Stone Cold Steve Austin in his room. So Matt, like, this is actually an interesting thing. And this was also something I was thinking about recently with the legendary packs. It's kind of like a catch-22, because as you lower the price of packs, it affects all similar moments released before that. So it's like you kind of are damned either way. You lower the price of the packs. Now everybody opens the packs. Let's say the price of the pack was $500 over the legendary moments. Then like the best moments get priced at $500, let's say, or a little bit above that. So it's kind of problematic. And then all the moments in previous series that were maybe now higher circulation get hit even harder. So it's really tough. Like you kind of can't win either way. It's like the panacea or the cure all is just more marketing, more people on the platform, and just kind of lifting up all the boats. Because yeah, like if tomorrow's rares are all out of 150, what's that going to do to the rares that are out of like 1,500, 1,000, 500, 2,000, right? They're all going to be hit accordingly unless you have enough demand to show up. And I mean, we talk about marketing almost every week on this show. I studied marketing in college. So therefore, I am allowed to talk about it. um, I also read a couple of Seth Godin blog articles. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, it's tough, man. It's kind of you're kind of screwed either way because, like I said, you lower the price too much, it affects everything else. You lower the circulation too much, it affects everything else. So it seems to me like you got to somehow balance it in a way where Dapper can still make the money that they need to make according to like the relationships that they have in place, but you're also reducing supply through things like burning, through things like burn challenges. Get used sneakers with a signature on them and burn a bunch of moments for it. Get quick grip packs and burn a bunch of moments for it. I mean, we are doing that. I think we just need to do more of it. We just need to do more of it. And we need to find additional ways to monetize the platform, in my opinion. Put ads on certain parts of the website if you have to. You get your results from Fast Break, you have to watch an ad first. You got to watch an ad. And maybe you can tie it in together. Maybe it's a basketball related ad. And yeah. Or the other thing that I mentioned a little while ago was the Tyson Beck thing, where Weisberg thought I was talking about a black male model by the name of Tyson Beckham. And of course I was not. And he questioned my search history. And I said, maybe we should question your search history, sir, because I had the right name and you didn't. But that guy, Tyson Beck, that would be an awesome idea. Crossover event. Although I did see a video on, I think it was TikTok or YouTube Shorts or something. So now these people are coming out of the woodwork because of what happened with the lawsuit. But you notice how the news cycle is so fast that none of us are even really talking about the lawsuit anymore. So sorry for bringing it up. But that's like the popular generic reply was, hey, look at what you can get from the lawsuit. If you were a part of Top Shot, you can get like whatever it is, 12 cents, 8 cents. And this LeBron Cosmic used to be worth 100 grand or whatever it was. And now it's 12 cents. Ha ha, losers. That was the narrative. And people see that and they think that's true. They think that's really what's going on because it's easier to just look at something in passing and your brain doesn't want to actually have to do the work to actually see what's going on. And yeah, that LeBron Cosmic is not worth 12 cents. But it would be cool if it was. I'd like to have one. Let's see. My Big Red Dog says packs sell out. Exactly. They sell out. And that's that. I mean, look, let's not kid ourselves. That's how Dapper makes its money. Packs sell out. But at the same time, I believe that it's always going to be the biggest moneymaker. No doubt. No doubt about it. I mean, why would they shift around their business model if it works this well? But there should always be opportunities to grow and expand and find new and innovative ways to find other ways of increasing your revenue. So ads, you get your fast break results the next day. You want to see what place you landed in. You watch an ad first. You watch a Coca-Cola ad in Kawhi's massively outstretched hands, and then you get to see your result. And even if that is whatever it is, 3,000, 5,000, 7,000, whatever the number is of people, that's still worth something. And back when we were doing live streams during pack drops, that was worth even more, in my opinion. It's too bad that they couldn't harness that when there was like 100,000 people, rent seekers, dirty rent seekers, filthy, disgusting, terrible. Some people might say nasty rent seekers. We're trying to flip their packs, people. Trying to flip their packs. And you had like 100,000 people, though, all in the same place at the same time. And you might not have that anymore, but you still have a bunch of people on this website at the same time or relatively around the same time. Matt is saying, I'm fine with ads. Everything is being tokenized. I'm not sure why tokenized sports cards are so far-fetched in the minds of so many. The 5% rake on sales helps if the moments are actually worth something. Yeah, I agree with you there, Matt. I think the issue though is like what we said, which is just the main money maker by far are packs. And it's such an easy thing to do. Um, and it's just what their bread and butter is, right? So it's not like they're going to shift away from that. And that's just how it is. So eventually, I hope that we'll sort of build towards when we get the new season going, and we'll see some of the things that we want to see on the marketing front, on the social media front, on all fronts. And we actually did get a social media tweet today. I'll share that with y'all if you want to see it. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Where is it? Here it is. Here it is, folks. There's a pop-up event happening in Las Vegas, which is you can meet Matas Buzelis, Lithuanian 19-year-old. I looked it up. I looked at the Wikipedia. Chicago Bulls power forward from Lithuania, Matas Buzelis. And you can go to Brewdog, Las Vegas, and hang out with him. And maybe you can eat some typical Lithuanian food like, hold on, I wrote it down. Give me a second here. Like potato dumplings filled with pork. Who wants some potato dumplings filled with pork? Don't all shout at once. Some people, though, were not thrilled about the fact that this was only released on Twitter, I guess today. Yeah. And that's like in 2 days from now, the event is happening. So suppose that there might be some Bulls fans or just some fans in general that would have liked to plan ahead for something like this. And yeah, I think in general, that's true. In general, you want to know of events earlier. But hey, if you are in Las Vegas and you want to go eat some potato dumplings with pork, and who knows, maybe there'll be some Top Shot swag there. I'm sure there will be if I had to guess. And you can drink and eat and hang out with a real life Lithuanian lottery pick, then that's what you should be doing. So I'm glad that that's happening. I would echo what some others are saying, where they would have liked a little extra warning, but it's better that it's happening with little warning than not happening at all. That's what I say. That's what I say. Yeah. Let's see. What else can we talk about today? Who else is here in the chat? DeCloak is saying it's ridiculous to announce an event with 48 hours notice. I've been asking for months if Top Shot was doing anything. So, yeah, I understand that, DeCloak. My only question for you, DeCloak, is would you have adjusted your travel plans because of Matas? If you would, then I understand your feelings. If you're going to be there anyways and you already booked something else, apparently this was happening during the same night as Dead and Company for you Grateful Dead fans and John Mayer fans. Yeah, I can understand why that would be a little irritating. So I don't really know what else to say. I would have liked to see more announcement ahead of time, but there wasn't. So I guess, in my opinion, is it better to have it with short notice or better to have nothing? And I guess at this point, I'm saying it's better to have it with short notice. And I hope next time there is more notice. All right. That's my take on it, but you guys can share your takes. What else can we talk about? What else have I been up to? What have I been up to? It is the summer. Okay. It's hot. There's no NBA basketball being played. There is some Olympic basketball news, which is interesting. And we talked about that at the start of the show. Of course, we didn't discuss Bronny James. Bronny James. What? Who's Bronny James? Bronny James. That's his name. That story was interesting too. I believe that when Weisberg was on the show, the draft was happening and we were waiting to see what would happen. And there was that story that Rich Paul was telling fans, you better not draft Bronny. He won't play for you. Kind of like what happened with Eli Manning. If you are a football fan and if you're old like me and your knees hurt, then you probably remember that story where Eli Manning told teams, or his dad told teams, Archie Manning, who was also a legendary NFL football quarterback, said that if you draft Eli Manning, he will not play for you. He wants to play for the New York Giants. And the Chargers ended up drafting him, and he was traded immediately. And they ended up getting, I think, Ryan Leaf, who ended up to be a complete bust. And anyway, so this kind of thing happens. And I think it's sort of foul play that this is allowed to happen, but this kind of thing does happen. And Bronny James gets drafted to the Lakers. I guess I don't know if I was surprised by it. I did think it was kind of cool though. Um, I don't know if he deserved to be drafted when there's probably better players that are undrafted. I would think that the majority of the decision was just based on this kind of reality show aspect of this team now, the reality show aspect of LeBron James playing with his son in like the final years of his career. And you know what? It's like, why not? Why not? The Lakers aren't going to be that good, I don't think. Sorry, Laker fans. And it'll be cool to watch Bronny James and LeBron. It's going to be cool to watch Bronny throw his first alley oop to his dad, and vice versa. And will he be any good? I don't know. You never know. I mean, some great players where it went undrafted or went to like D3 schools. I think Derek White was one of those players. He went to a really like a no-name school, and now he's an NBA champion and a big time star playing on Team USA. So you can't really predict this stuff. And people who are all in their feelings and saying nepotism this, nepotism that. Of course, there's nepotism involved. I mean, well, of course there was. And then JJ Redick sort of saying, like, no, we drafted Bronny because of XYZ. No, you actually didn't, but that's okay. It's okay. NBA is an entertainment product, and this is an entertaining storyline. People are going to pay attention to the Lakers for JJ Redick, for Bronny James. It's going to be must see TV, and that's exactly what the NBA wants. So I think they accomplished what they were looking for. QA expert asks, Tandy, are you following the Euros? And Top Shot Hot Shot says Euro Cup / Copa. And also QA says the Lakers are turning into the Kardashians. I would agree with that. Yes, I am following the Euros. Until like last year, I actually didn't really realize that the Euro Cup was such a esteemed tournament. And actually, the other day I found out that the UEFA Nations Cup or Nations League tournament is also a thing, but it is not nearly as special as the Euro Cup. So for those of you who don't know, that's how it goes. And living in Portugal, I have become more and more of a Cristiano Ronaldo fan. So that's kind of an interesting thing that's going on here in Portugal, actually, is that Ronaldo is definitely at the end of his career. He's kind of like the Tom Brady or Kobe Bryant in the final years of the Lakers, or maybe it's going to be like LeBron soon, even though LeBron's still an excellent player, where like there's all this conversation all the time about, should he still start? Does he deserve the place of someone else? And that's like all anybody talks about. And it doesn't matter. That's all anybody wants to talk about when it comes to Portugal football. But yeah, I was definitely getting into it, man. It's fun. It's really fun. I really enjoy international football, European football. I enjoy it very, very much. People really get into it. And I've never been a big fan of like club football. I don't care very much about these clubs that are, bought and sold by these sheiks of Dubai or something, and like like Real Madrid spends all the money and gets Mbappe on their team now, and they got Bellingham, who's now in the final as well, and Modric and all these other players, right? And I'm not as interested in club football, but international football, there's something very special about it. People really take it seriously, and they have a lot of pride for their teams, and I really like that. So I've really enjoyed the Euro Cup, and my son, who he is 6 years old, and all his friends at school, of course, living in Europe, are obsessed with football. And so now he is obsessed with the Euro Cup as well. And so that's really fun. He really loves it. He really loves watching it. And something nice actually about watching football, Euro football, is that there's like no ads, of course. It's 45 minutes of action. Then there's like maybe a 15-minute break, and then the ads show up. And then it's another 45 minutes of action. So like that's a nice change of pace if you're used to watching, let's say, NFL football, which is literally a commercial. It seems like a commercial every 60 seconds. So it's great. And I've really enjoyed it. And the Copa America, I have not been following as closely. I know that Brazil is playing, I think, tonight. I hope they win. My wife is Brazilian, of course, and I root for Brazil when it comes World Cup time. So I hope they win. I was hoping that the USA could win, but the USA can't seem to get it together when it comes to international football. But Pulisic is a beast. If you want to go look at some highlights of the best USA soccer player, go check out on YouTube Christian Pulisic. Pulisic, I think his name is, or Pulisic. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's very good. And currently in the final of the Euro Cup, it's Spain versus England, and there's some interesting storylines there too. If you're curious, um, basically Spain has this Wunderkind, as the Germans would say, a wonder child. He's this guy. I can't remember his name now, but he's 16 years old, and he is just an absolute phenom, absolute monster. 16-year-old kid scored a crazy goal in the last game, and he's just an excellent player. So I'm rooting for Spain personally. I know that some people who watch the show are England fans. England is now in their second straight EuroLeague final, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can win it or if this 16-year-old in Spain will win it. And something else that was interesting when I was Googling this 16-year-old, who now I can't remember his name, it's like Lanta or Lantum or something like that. He plays for Barcelona. I think they signed him when he was like 12 years old, which is kind of creepy. But he plays for Barcelona, 16 years old, breaking all the records for like the youngest person to do XYZ. And he has a $1 billion buyout clause, which I was shocked by. $1 billion buyout clause. So if Real Madrid comes knocking and they want to take this kid, okay, Lamine Yamal, thank you guys. If they want to take Lamine Yamal off of Barcelona and onto Real Madrid, they then have to pay Barcelona $1 billion. $1 billion. And I'm guessing that's probably the highest of any player because he's so young. So I'm rooting for the kid. He looks incredibly young. It's amazing. And you should go watch his goal from the last game. It was unreal. So that was against France, and of course France beat Portugal, and that was just like gut wrenching. I mean, I really wanted to see Portugal win it for Cristiano Ronaldo, so I was kind of heartbroken. And they missed some really gimme chances at the end there. Both teams did. They both played like shit. France and Portugal played like shit, but Portugal had some really just the goal looked like it should have looked a mile wide to these players, and these are good players. You have players like Bernardo Silva who plays for Manchester City, and he has the ball right in front of the goal basically, and he just kind of shifting around, dribbling to the side, then finally passes it to the middle, and a guy kicks it off his non-dominant foot. Just a wasted opportunity, and just the Portuguese nation was absolutely silent. And that's actually one last thing I'll say is that so when these games happen and Portugal scores goals, and especially when Portugal wins the game, you hear honking, you hear banging of pans. It's like a COVID. It's sort of a stupid joke, but it's like during COVID when people were celebrating the nurses, right? It's kind of like that when the team wins. And when Portugal lost to France, it was complete silence. And that was just so sad. Such a bummer. Anyway, let's move right along. Mike Weisberg is in Vegas. And Mike says, I also love that Top Shot gave us 48-hour notice for their event in Vegas. So Mike did not see the beginning of the stream. That's okay. We will not hold it against Mike. But Mike, take care of yourself. Mix in some waters with those whiskeys, sir. All right. What else should we talk about, guys? I told you this was the variety hour. I didn't really plan that much to talk about, to be honest. I might have already run out of things to say. Let me double check what else I have here. Yeah, so the basketball, USA men's basketball happening in Paris, France. Okay. And of course, not the Celtics, but the USA men's basketball, who will have two Celtics champions on their team, three. Holiday, Tatum, and White now. They are a favorite of minus 550, so they are a big time favorite. But guess who's an even bigger favorite? The women's USA basketball team. In fact, they are an even bigger favorite to the tune of even triple a favorite of the men's basketball. They are minus 1,550. So you would have to lay down $1,550 to win $100 if the women were to win the Olympic Games, or the basketball championship of the Olympics. The men at 550, then it's the Canadian team at around 11 to 1, and then it is Victor Wembanyama and France at I think 14 to 1, if I'm not mistaken. So there you go. Might be some value betting on Canada, honestly. But most likely the USA men will take it. Um, Mike says he hung out with legend JJL Smith last night. That's cool. Congratulations, Mike. Um, I know JJL Smith. JJL Smith is the one who buys all the moments. He gave away a really nice moment for this show once. So he's a good dude. What else you guys want to talk about? Put it in the chat, or else I'm going to start talking about like what's going on Twitter. So I'll give you a chance to give me some subjects that you want to discuss, or we're going to talk about what's going on just in general trending things on Twitter. Okay, so we'll give you a couple seconds. I'm actually looking at Twitter right now, see what's going on. Let's see. Farmaziz is at the Canada USA game. That's cool. Okay, cool. Let's see. Anything in the chat? Biden, Boston Bay says, talk about replacing Biden. And Top Shot Hotshot says, bet on the women's Chinese team, Shang Xiu. I don't know anything about the Chinese women's basketball team, but I do know that Chinese boxer knocked the crap out of, what's his name again? The bomber, boxer, big right hand. I can't remember. Top Shot Hotshot says, do Biden. I don't think my impression of Biden is as good as my impression of Trump. But Biden, if we want to talk politics for a second, as someone who is not in the middle of politics, thankfully, I don't read about it or see it on TV every day as I might if I was in my home in the United States. But I did see that debate, at least parts of it, some highlights or lowlights, I suppose we could say. Yeah, Biden looks unwell. That's what I would say. And I think it's kind of a little sad to like dunk on someone who might be legitimately unwell. But it's weird because then he says he's fine. But if you watch him talk, especially during these debates, which he had like days to prepare for, it seems like he is lost. Like he loses his train of thought. He's like me when I'm woken up 5 times by my daughter, and then I'm supposed to talk about basketball and Top Shot the following day, and I can't remember words. Although if I was in a debate to be the president of the United States, I think I'd probably try to get better sleep and such. But that's why I don't think it's a sleep thing, and I don't think it's a preparation thing. I think that Biden, if you look at videos of Biden from like a few years ago, and you look at videos of him now, I mean, the way that he speaks has completely changed. He just seems like an old man. He's like 80, 81 years old. We just need limits on how old people can be to be the leader of the most powerful country in the world. I mean, Trump is also old. He's also a complete shyster. Biden is old. You know, the thing is also, I don't even think it's really about who you're voting for, Biden or Trump at the end of the day. It's more about like who's in their cabinet. Who are the people that are actually making the decisions? That's the thing too. Like the whole politics game also, I mean, if you want to get all conspiracy theory here, I feel like it all is just a game of like it's like puppeteering, you know, like, oh, the red one's better. No, the blue one's better. Everyone get all angry at each other, argue over if the red one or the blue one is better. When in reality, it's really just these families and banks that just get to run the country and profit off of the middle class and lower class, and all the money just transfers over to the wealthiest people, and it doesn't matter who's in charge. Doesn't matter if it's the red tie or the blue tie. And debating over like, you know, how bad Biden looks or what a shyster Trump is or how old they are. It's just sort of, I think it's just kind of a way to distract. You know, it's like when my daughter wants to grab my cell phone and we grab a toy and we distract her. Like that's kind of what it is. We are those babies that are just getting distracted, in my opinion. I don't think any of these candidates really will make any of the true change that people are probably hoping for. I think that the cost of goods have gone way up. Inflation has gone way up. The cost you can't know. Young adults can't afford to buy a house anymore. Um, Going out to eat has become just ridiculously expensive. So it just really become a situation of the haves versus the have-nots. Anyway, hope you're enjoying this discussion of politics this week. I just got a notification that Steve Will Do It is in jail. Okay. As I said, we can talk about what's going on Twitter too. Boston Bay says, is Roham eligible? I think he should be if he was born in the USA. Would you guys vote for Roham? All right, we're at 38 minutes. We're almost at an hour. I feel like all the shows this summer are going to be like this, by the way. Just like a little slow. But that's okay. That's okay. We're doing just fine. Let's see. I do know that we're going to get that WNBA announcement is coming like any minute. Sometime, probably in the next 20 minutes, we're going to get the WNBA announcement. And I actually have some info on it, but I'm not 100% sure if I can share it. But one cool thing about these WNBA packs, and again, it's all about the thrill of the rip. It's all about why people want to try and hit that God pack, because in the rare WNBA packs, we've seen these God packs. So depending on which God you pray to, there's these God packs where every moment in the pack is the rare moment. So that's pretty cool. So you can imagine that you're going to have some of those Caitlin Clarks and some of those Angel Reeses, and a few lucky people are going to get God packs with all of the rare moments in their pack. And then people are going to go on Twitter and say the randomizer's broken. QA says, talk crypto. Crypto's not doing so well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Bitcoin is down, right? Let me see. What site do I use again? Coin Market Cap. We can go look at crypto together. You guys want to talk crypto? Let's talk crypto. Here we go. Let's bring up cryptocurrency prices. Let's see how we're doing in crypto. Here you go. So we are in the fear and greed index, and we are in fear. So we are fearful at the moment. Bitcoin is $57,527. In the last 7 days, it's down 1%. Ethereum, $3,000. Yeah, if you look at the 7-day chats, it just kind of looks like we're chopping up and down, doesn't it? I feel like that's not the worst thing in the world, to be chopping up and down. And we obviously saw that the price of Bitcoin got hit pretty hard because the Germans, Dirk Nowitzki and friends, dumped a bunch of Bitcoin. 1,300 Bitcoin they dumped. Right here. They moved thousands of Bitcoin, $3 billion of Bitcoin. So that was like around here when Bitcoin was trading at around 65K. They then sold off a crap load of Bitcoin. It went as low as here. This thing's kind of hard to use. It went as low as 53.86K, and it has now started to rebound. So we're now starting to see, at least after this movement here, that's a higher low, that's a higher high, that's a higher low, that's a higher high, that's a higher low. Well, that then is a lower low. So a lower high. But I would say that if you're keeping an eye on crypto, it does seem like we're out of the woods for now. I don't really have too much other really incredible alpha for you. I don't know about shit coins or anything like that. I know that if you are trading shit coins, then you should know that if Bitcoin is struggling, your shit coins will struggle even harder. And if Bitcoin pumps up and then starts to stabilize, then your shit coins and altcoins and whatever, might then start catching up. Like they don't move directly with Bitcoin. So that might be something that some of you are not aware of that I hope you can learn. We can learn together on this show. Why not? So there, I talked about crypto. Someone is saying Boston Base said something about these packs. Is that on Twitter now? Let's see. Is this something I can share on Twitter? He says $199 for a rare pack. Let's see. Is that something shared? I don't see anything shared, so I don't know where you got that. But anyway, Top Shot Hot Chat says word on the streets, interest rates will be coming down, and then probably real estate prices with it. Well, the interest rates are quite high, and the prices of real estate are also quite high. So maybe that's something we need. I don't know. The USA needs, I should say. So Boston Bay says it's on their website. I do not see that. Let me load packs. Let's see if I see something. Oh, okay, it is there. All right. Let's take a look together. Let's take a look together. Okay. All right. So we do see that there is some news shared right here. We have the WNBA Fresh Gems. By the way, is there some reason why it's Fresh Gems and not Freshman Gems? Is that because there's some sophomores in here or something? I don't know. But let's take a look at the WNBA Fresh Gems, $199. So I would think that's not a terrible price. I don't know. What is like Caitlin Clark going for right now? Let's take a look at what Caitlin Clark is going for, and let's take a look at what you can get in these packs. So Caitlin Clark's going for 260. Oh, and there's her Fresh Gems right there. So yeah, I think like obviously, if you hit a Caitlin Clark, you'll be sitting pretty. That definitely should trade for above the price of this pack, and probably Angel Reese as well. But I don't know. I personally, I would need someone like Cam, aka Pack Drip, to tell us. I mean, I know Brink is a player that people want to get their hands on. And yes, you have a bunch of players here. Obviously, the ones that stand out are Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Cameron Brink. So those are probably the ones you want to get your hands on. They're numbered out of 149. You can see that. Let's see. Not all of them are included in this drop. So there's probably going to be some for burn boards, some for people who are on the leaderboards, and some that will be in the quick rips, of course. And you're also going to have chance at the rookie debuts. So if we look at the rookie debuts of those same players, there are 100 rookie debuts of Caitlin Clark in this drop, 100 of Angel Reese, and 132 of Cameron Brink. And does this tell you all your chances? Let's take a look together. Let's take a look together. Okay. Let's see. Oh, it's because fresh men gems. That's why. Fresh woman gems. That's why. Can we call it fresh woman gems? So let's take a look. The WNBA's midway point has officially arrived. Should I try to do a terrible Biden impression while we read this? Folks, hey, folks. No, I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. Folks, WNBA's midway point. Look, officially arrived, folks. No, I'm not going to do it. In a short time, many of the league's newest stars have gotten to work on building timeless highlight reels, and the WNBA Fresh Gems covers every base, putting a spotlight on the performances that define the groundbreaking 2024 class. To this point, including the pack will be a 100% chance at pulling a rare WNBA Fresh Gems moment minted to 149. And then opportunities at earning a second will be available alongside the common rookie debut moments minted to 4,000. They'll be available for $199 via draw, and that draw period will end on July 16th in 5 days on Tuesday. Half of the packs will be allocated to collectors with a Top Shot score, a WNBA Top Shot score of over 50,000. 30% of the packs will be allocated to collectors with a Top Shot score and WNBA Top Shot score between 10 and 50,000, 20% to anybody. And a collector with a WNBA Top Shot score of over 50,000 will be in the draws for all locations. Okay. So there you go. And you can see that you'll have an 8%. So you'll have a 100% chance at one rare, an 8% chance at a second rare. Wait a second, an 8% chance. Hold on. Am I reading this wrong? 6 moments. The first will be rare. The second will be a rare or common, rare or common. Oh, okay, so you have like an 8% chance at getting 3 rares in your pack. Is that right? And then there's also going to be these God packs. So you have a 0.46% at a God pack where 6 moments will be all rares in your pack. So there's that. These surely will sell out. They will surely be oversubscribed, I would say. Cam is here. Cam, I gave you a shout out just now. You just rewound though, so you probably won't hear this for another half an hour. But I talked about you because you understand the ladies of WNBA. Don't call me Shirley. Okay, Shirley. Boston Base likes the bad Biden impression. Interesting. So there you go, folks. Yeah, I know the movie. It's a good movie, Cam. I love Leslie Nielsen. You should look up the video interview of Leslie Nielsen doing a press tour, and he has a fart box, a little fart machine, and it is very funny. So check that out. Google Leslie Nielsen interview fart, and you will have some laughs. All right. We got 10 minutes, folks. We're doing great. Should we talk about some Twitter stuff for 10 minutes? You want to do that? Let's talk about what's happening on Twitter. Oh, so he's seen it. Okay. Sorry, Boston Base. Jeez. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about, and I know this is 15 minutes too late, but let's talk about the Hawk Tua girl. The Hawk Tua girl, okay? It's a girl in Tennessee. I think she's 21, maybe 22. And she gets interviewed outside of the bar area. And she's had a few drinks, her and her friend. And first of all, some dude with a black hoodie and a microphone and his buddy filming, they are interviewing people outside of the bars for content. What has happened? Obviously it worked, right? Obviously people want to see this stupid stuff, but why is that what's happening? Like, why has this become common? I've already seen like 2 or 3 additional videos like this of girls that are wasted outside of a bar area with the same looking dude with a black hoodie interviewing these girls, saying the most outlandish possible stuff. Why? Why is this now acceptable? Why is this now why do people want to see this? It's embarrassing. I mean, we know why, because now this girl has probably made hundreds of thousands, if not probably, I don't know how much money she's made, but like, it bothers me. And maybe it's just because I'm old. But like, I have a daughter. I would hate to see her become fodder for everyone on social media because someone caught her when she had a few too many drinks. And like, this is the kind of entertainment that people want to watch now, is see people just say scandalous and do scandalous stuff outside of bars when they're getting drunk. Like in my day, you would go and have a few drinks and you wouldn't be getting recorded at all times. You would have a few drinks, you would do dumb shit, and no one would be pointing at you with a microphone and a camera. Now, in this case, of course, it's worked out for this young lady, even though, yeah, I don't know how she's going to like parlay this, but she's already been on some podcasts. She already has like over 1 million followers on Instagram and TikTok. People were already saying like she should do an OnlyFans. I don't know, man. It just feels like bottom of the barrel stuff. I don't know why we are such chimpanzees. Boston Bay says they used to interview people outside of bars in the 90s for real sex on HBO. It's nothing new. Fine, Boston Base, but that was for people who were stealing HBO with their black box in the basement, like me. That was not for every single person on Twitter and every single person on TikTok and every single person on Instagram. And again, I'm an old fart knocker with a 6-year-old son, and I don't want him on social media like this, seeing all this. It's only getting like crazier and crazier. If you look at what the girls are doing now to try to get famous, go look it up. It's getting even crazier now. And it's just getting, in my opinion, more and more scandalous and lewd. Anyway, old man yells at cloud. WNBA announcement, says Boston Base. Let's see. Let's see. I don't see it on Twitter yet. Anyway. Let's see. Should we reload the Top Shot website? See what we can see. Okay. Let's see it. Here it is. Here's the website. Although my Top Shot homepage is a little janky for some reason, something about my like cookies. But there you go. A can't miss event featuring the only rare rookie packs for the WNBA in 2024. Interesting. That's cool. So there you go. They got the leaderboards. You can burn for quick rips, and you got your collector's guide. So that's pretty fun. And I know there's a lot of people who really like collecting WNBA and doing the fast break at WNBA game. So that's all good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. Boston Pay says, you can't critique America. You left us. And someone give Tandy the ice cream so good as he rants about this. Look, Top Shot, Hot Shot. In this day and age, 99 cents is not easy to come by. Interest rates are high. Okay. Well, we got like 5 minutes. I think there's one other thing we can talk about. So this is also kind of scandalous. I don't know how you guys feel about this one. But remember a few weeks ago when I told you I was watching this kid on TikTok, Sketch? Well, this is an awkward story. But Sketch become a huge streamer. Massively successful. Kind of a strange dude, but funny, very funny. If you've ever seen him on some of these interview shows, like I saw him on Theo Vaughn at Boston Face, like, oh God, why are you doing this? And he's very funny. I really like Sketch. Okay. But a few years back, and so, okay, it's kind of awkward, isn't it? A few years back, Sketch was doing a gay OnlyFans content, and apparently pretty like potentially graphic OnlyFans content. I can't say I did not see it. All right, Boston Base it gives us a welcome interruption that the Cameron Brink 1 of 1 ultimate rookie moment is hidden inside a Fresh Gems quick rip pack. So there you go. It gives you some reasons to try to find the lucky golden ticket inside of a quick rip pack. There you go. Anyway, so long story short, yeah, he did some pretty embarrassing stuff. He then explained himself. He said that he was like in the middle of some addictions and he's a changed man, and he was always worried about this stuff coming out, about getting leaked, the weird stuff that he was doing a couple years back. And I think the part that you can look about the story that's actually kind of heartwarming and nice, and a nice thing, is that his friends really looked out for him, because you can imagine when you have that kind of a following and how much how scary that is. And he wanted to do something potentially drastic when he got leaked, and you could imagine why. And imagine a lot, people his age and who have access to firearms and that kind of a thing, that could easily have happened, and it didn't, because his friends reached out to him. These guys in FaZe Clan, which is like another big time streaming group, video game streaming group, and they just pretty much reached out to him and said, like, yeah, look, you're our friend, like no matter what, come back, like we got you, it's totally cool. And so it all ended well. It all ended fine, and Sketch is fine apparently, and he'll continue making entertaining content. But that was just a crazy story, and if you haven't heard about it, now you have. And I don't know if that was useful. I don't know if anyone cares, but I'm just updating you on what's going on the internet. And the moral of the story, as Boston Bay says, is always be there for your friends. Exactly. So when Mike Zakarian's OnlyFans shows up, I'm just kidding. The judge. It's more likely the judge. It's more likely the judge. When the judge's OnlyFans shows up a few years late, remember, he's still our friend. Okay? And we'll still be there for him. Speaking of the judge, by the way, you know that the judge, he tweeted out something like, I've really missed the community. I've had a lot of thoughts about Top Shot. If you give me this many retweets and this many likes, I'll stream again. And all you suckers retweeted and liked. And guess what? Nothing happened. But you don't have to retweet or like anything, and I'll still play the handshake video.
So I appreciate it. Yeah, man, that was awkward. Fist bump. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. Just gonna clip that. It's gonna go viral. Jesus Christ. No, I appreciate it. It was weird.
And when Jacob was on the show and he said, find some new music, you know what the problem is? There's two problems here. The first problem is I think the music is really funny. Partly because Celine Dion, and bless her heart, by the way, Celine Dion's struggling with some stuff right now, but Celine Dion is one of the judge's favorite artists. So that makes it funny to me. And I just think the shitty recorded version of that song is really funny. But the other problem is I don't know if I have the source file anymore. I'll have to go search on my computer if I have the source file. But what I will say is that if Jacob can connect me to a music designer or creator, or maybe one of you in the chat, if one of you is a musician or can make interesting music and you want to make a new track for that video, let me know and I'll adjust it. Okay. All right. We made it. We're at an hour. Somehow we did it.
It's goddamn amazing. Woo.
I wasn't sure if we'd do it. I didn't have much to talk about today, and I don't think I'm going to have much to talk about next week either. But we'll keep on keeping on. What are the parameters for the song? What do you mean, what are the parameters? Just make something that is that as long as that video and it would be interesting for a handshake. And maybe even have some custom singing over the handshake. Samuel could do it for me. But Sam doesn't want to do things for me. I asked Sam to do a video for me when I did Twitch Guy. Yeah, we haven't had our Twitch Guy lately. Twitch Guy! And then Sam didn't do it, so I did it myself. So I don't know. Then Sam shows up to my show. He doesn't even plug his mic in. I'm like, oh my goodness, Sam. What's going on? Where's the professionalism? He's like, I don't need professionalism for your janky ass show. Okay, Sam, geez. Gosh. Say it without saying it. That's all I got, folks. Any other questions in the chat? Anything else you want to talk about? I'll give you a couple seconds and then I'll call it a night. Am I in Vegas? I am not in Vegas, Boston based. I am not in Vegas. One day I would like to do it though. I would. But right now I have a daughter who is a year old. I have a son who is 6. And it's probably going to be quite a while until I can reason to my wife why I need to leave her for like 4 days or whatever the case may be and go to Las Vegas. It would have to be a family trip. Ideally, it would be something where there was something related to like a gig or work. That was always kind of a daydream of mine. If you remember, Patrick Ewing, the great Patrick Ewing, got himself paid for, I think, or not. I don't even remember the details, but he went there to write about it for Top Shot. I think it must have been 2022. And that's sort of my pie in the sky dream, is that someone like a Top Shot would say, hey, we want you to go down there and it's for work. Because then I could reason it. Hey, this is for work. I got to go. I'm getting paid. But to just go because I want to, because I want to drink whiskey with Weisberg, that will be difficult. That will not be easy. Or eat potato dumplings at the Top Shot pop-up, that'll be difficult. That'll be difficult. But inshallah, one day it will happen. All right. I think that's it. I don't see any other questions or anything like that in the chat. So give Tandy the bag, says QA. Thank you, QA. That's the goal. Anyway, guys, I got nothing. Next week, I'll probably have nothing again, but we made it to an hour. I'm proud of all of you. Thank you for being here. And enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy your weekend. Maybe catch up on some USA basketball stories. And I should see you next week. Okay? But it is the summer, so no guarantees. If I'm somewhere else or tired, I might see you in 2 weeks. But let's just say I'll see you next week. Because I like hanging out, even if you have nothing to talk about. So take care, everybody, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Static Selector.